All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this all the way through, and we're gonna get into it. All right, so now right here I get a turnover, and this is clearly a scripted turnover, right? Let's take it back. It's clearly scripted, right? Now, here's what happens. So you probably already kind of see it. Now, I call it pick and roll, and the pick and roll was basically successful. And that right there is exactly what the problem was. It was successful. So when I decided to pass him the ball, now if he continues to just go in his route where he's supposed to go according to the pick and roll play, this is an easy assist, right? It's an easy bucket, no problem at all. But what happens when I decide to pass him the ball is he detours, and the game forces him to, instead of continue his route where he was going to the basket, right? Because see, he's right in line with the basket. This is an easy layup, easy dunk. What the game does is it forces him to break off in a whole nother direction, right? It forces him to slant across the paint instead of just diving right into it, right? And the point of that was that 2K wanted the turnover to happen, right? So when you're playing this game, a lot of times what happens to you, this is what I mean by it's scripted. What happens to you is already embedded within the algorithm. And I figured this out playing 2K21, because what I would do, look at that one more time. That's crazy. But what I would do is I would, let's say if I get a foul or I get some kind of turnover or some crazy shit happens, what I would do is I would save and exit the game, because at some point I figured out that the checkpoint on 2K is based upon whenever the last inbound was. So if I inbound the ball, we running the play, running the pick and roll, whatever happens, I lose the ball, get a turnover. I'm not going to mention it because I don't really give a damn. It's a video game. But I would save it in order to erase that turnover or whatever, even if it was a foul, I would save it and quit it in order to erase those negative stats from my career. And what I noticed is that when I come back into the game, a lot of times I would immediately, whatever it was that I was trying to erase from my stats, I would immediately get it again. So let's say if I got a turnover, once again, look at this dude right here, right? You can see the sudden fast slant that the game forces him to do, where he kind of slides and he just dips all the way out to the left. It was meant for this pass to be stolen, right? But like I was saying, what I figured out was that when I would reboot it back up, that game, and start off at that checkpoint, within about the next 1 to 3 plays, I would get a turnover again. Or if I was on defense and I saved it and quit it and came back, I would get a foul again. In one game, I actually got 9 turnovers in a row in one quarter, right? And I'm talking about saving and coming back in, because what? It was already embedded, not perfectly with perfect accuracy, but it was embedded to a degree within the algorithm that I was supposed to have lost the ball. So I save it, quit it, come back in, lose the ball. Save it, quit it, come back in, 1 or 2 plays later, lose the ball. Save it, quit it. Now I'll never get 9 turnovers in a game. This is the whole point. I was averaging about 1.5 turnovers. But whenever I would do this, I would get more turnovers. It wouldn't save because I would lead the game before it could, actually stick to my stat sheet. Right? So I would lead the game, but so it wouldn't save. But what that told me whenever that happened was that the game was recognizing that I didn't have the turnover I was supposed to have had. You get what I'm trying to say? I did not have the negative statistics that I was supposed to have had, so it was forcing it to happen. That is when I figured out, without a doubt at all, that 2K is totally scripted, right? Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. Maybe I'm not wording it perfectly, but hopefully you understand what it is that I'm trying to get at, right? But that'll do it for this video.